Hi, welcome back to Food for Thought. For 60 million Americans, travel can mean trouble. But on a positive note, today's guests have solutions for those that are visually impaired, hearing impaired, and those living with physical disabilities. We're going to turn our travel show right now over to Steve. I'd like to start with you. Steve, can you tell us a little bit about SATH? We know it's the Society for Accessible Travel and Hospitality. Tell us what they do and tell us how you got involved.
Well, SATH was founded 30 years ago, Annette, and was founded by a wonderful man by the name of Murray Vidakla. Peripherally happened to be my brother-in-law. And although no one in the family had a disability or a serious illness, he felt that that was a segment of society that was denied the right to travel. And through the early years he struggled, but then he testified before Congress, and it was the passage of the ADA which liberated most people with disabilities in this country. It encouraged them to think of themselves as normal citizens who operated with a disability of whatever type or nature. And our mission at SATH is to educate the travel industry and the travel agent and the traveling public about the needs and desires of people with disabilities when they travel.
Very good. And you know, speaking of disabilities, give us a breakdown of some of the most common disabilities.
Well, of the 60 million disabled Americans, I would say that the statistics say that the largest group are people with hearing loss. And the next largest group are people with eyesight problems, from a small amount to total blindness. The third group is mobility, which means that you use a wheelchair. The fourth group is motor damage. And the fifth group is really a hidden disability. By that I mean they have a disability that's not readily apparent to the naked eye.
Tell me, you're both members of SATH, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, how did you decide? I mean, this industry seems like it's been very untapped. It's been an untapped market. It's definitely an economic, you know, gold mine in a sense, as well as helping people. But how did you decide, and why did you decide to expand your agency into specializing in helping the disabled travel in a less problematic way?
When Gary and I first met, he would travel with me, and there was a person, and it was an employee of a blind resource center, said, well, why do you want to travel? You're not able to see, you can't sightsee.
Oh.
And this totally floored me, because sight is only one of the senses. So we decided to go beyond sightseeing, and we use a multi-sensory approach to travel.
So do you have any stories, any funny stories? You were sharing a little bit with me earlier about something about Braille, and you were made the chief of the whole.
Oh yeah, we went to the inaugural, and Jackie was showing me the sign, says, okay, what does this say? Now, it was all in Braille and large print, whatever. I'm reading it, and it says like, okay, art gallery, Lido restaurant, and whatever. I came to one sign, I couldn't read it. It was just, made no sense. And then I turned my hand around, and it was a disabled restroom sign. And I told the people, the higher-ups about it, and we went and toured the ship again, and the signs are still the same way, and we told them again. So they got a hold of SATH and says, you know anybody that reads Braille in the area? And the ship was down in Lauderdale at the time. And they told them about me, and they didn't realize that I was the one that found the problem in the first place. So we got a call, and they asked, can you do read the ship for us, when it's in port, it's only a couple hours away, can you come down and do it? I said, sure. And then a couple of days later, we got a call and says, okay, we know it's it's a big ship, and it'll take a long time. Would you be willing to sail with us for a week? We'll pay all your expenses. I said, sure, I'll make the sacrifice, I'll do it.
You probably, at the tip of your tongue, have tons of solutions that could be done to help this travel industry and help people travel more pleasurably and have a good time and not be stigmatized by the whole stigmas of being blind or deaf. What are some solutions that you can think of?
One of the greatest solutions is to educate people there are so many people that aren't aware of the things that go on. Things like the Americans with Disabilities Act. So many Americans are egocentric. They think, I'm an American, I have this law that protects me. But as soon as we leave the jurisdictional borders of the United States, that law does not travel with us. So we have to educate both travelers, providers, and people from other countries that things like guide dog acceptance are okay, and that once you do leave the United States, you have their laws to follow, not the United States laws. So education is one of the #1 things that needs to get accomplished, and that is where SATH comes in, because they are an educational venue.
I understand.
The other key factor there, if I may,
Sure, go
is
ahead.
that when law is written, it's written in black type. That's, every lawyer knows that as the black letter law. But it's not the black letter law that governs something like the ADA, it's the spirit. So people can say, yes, we're ADA compliant, but they never caught the spirit. So they're really not accessible to people who have need of these special facilities. So if you're going to do it, my motto is catch the spirit.
Exactly. Well, we're out of time once again, and I just want to thank Steve, Jackie, and Gary so much for being here. I think you've opened up a whole new world out there for people who want to get out and have fun and travel a bit more. And for you out there, out in TV land, I want you guys to get your passports, because the producers of Cooking Without Looking are now developing a show specifically for people who are disabled and love to travel. So stay tuned for that. And on behalf of Celia, Alan, and myself, or as we like to call ourselves, the I-Team, we'll see you next time. Bye for now, or should I say, ciao.
For recipes and information from today's show, please call Vision World Foundation toll-free at 888-290-7005. Cooking Without Looking. Creator, Executive Producer, Renee Rentmeester. Vision World Foundation Founder, Renee Rentmeester. Producer, Sylvia Troy. Associate Producer, Celia Chacon. Hosts, Celia Chacon, Alan Preston, and Ed Watkins. Cooking Without Looking is underwritten by Magnifying America, featuring Max TV glasses, distance spectacles for watching television designed especially for the legally blind and visually impaired. Magnifying America, distributors of Max TV glasses and other empowering machines for blind or low vision people. 1-800-364-1608. American Express is a proud underwriter of Cooking Without Looking. American Express has been a leader in supporting organizations that raise awareness and assist people with disabilities. SATH, the Society for Accessible Travel and Hospitality, is an educational nonprofit membership organization whose mission is to raise awareness of the needs of all travelers with disabilities. 800-513-1126 or by logging on to sath.org. This program was a presentation of WXEL, West Palm Beach, Florida.